Hello from Serendipity Forge again. So today's project, we're not going to be building knives. Instead, I have a custom order for some mantle hooks for a customer to hang an antique, it's either percussion or flintlock rifle on. They want it over their fireplace. They want something nice and sturdy, and they want something that looks old-fashioned, so that's what they're going to get. Now, I like making knives, but I do really enjoy these projects like this once in a while. I enjoy being able to do something different because I don't care what it is. If you do enough of something, it can get boring after a while. To start with in the video today, I'm having to modify one of my bending jigs, one of my hook bending jigs, because the customer wanted the inside diameter of the hook between 1.5 inches and 1 3/4 inches. And my usual bending jig is 1 1/4 inches. So in order to make it work, I used the bending jig and a piece of bar stock and bent around the bending jig to give myself the right inside diameter to make the jig to actually make the mantle hooks. You'll understand in the video. Hope you enjoy. And before we waste any more time here, let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn down the end of this bar stock. Once again, that's just 1 inch by 3/16 bar stock. I'm going to use it to modify my bending jig. Take a nice long heat. I got my bending jig upside down in the vise. Now I'm just going to form this bar stock around it. I want to keep it nice and tight on the bending jig, and sometimes that can be a little challenging when you don't have anything stable enough to hammer on, and that piece of pipe in the vise is absolutely not stable enough to hammer on. So just take a little time, keep working it around. Don't need it exactly round, but I need it fairly round. Sorry about the sloppy camera work. A little more. It's getting there. Almost tight enough. I need to get the whole thing hot and tickle it a little bit with a hammer. Yep, that's plenty hot. Pardon my gut there. Get the hammer and just snug it up a little bit. I'm sorry for this crappy video. I'm gonna have to start getting my cameraman back out there, get my daughter back out there to do the filming for me. Not so bad. Tighten it up a little on the anvil. Yeah, it's getting there. Pretty good, pretty pleased with that. I'll just cool it off and saw it off the parent stock. What's our measurement? 1 3/4 inches. Just what we wanted. That'll do. Now I've welded the ring on and welded up a little piece of round stock to make a bending jig. and we'll start working on our hooks. We'll use the power hammer to drill this hook. Just use the hammer to move most of the stuff. I can do this on the anvil just as easily as on the power hammer, but hey, if you've got the tool, use the tool. So draw it out a little bit. And we'll go over to the anvil and use the hammer to even everything up. Now I could have done the same technique and just drawn the whole point out and never used the power hammer. But if you've got it, use it. Just drawing the taper and make sure that it stays centered up. It's going to take a little fiddling with, but better to take time now than have to go back and rearrange things later. Now, go over here and turn a little scroll down on the end. Just round it up a little. Not bad. Back in the fire. Take a nice long heat. And when I say long heat, I'm referring to the length of the bar that's being heated, not the amount of time that it stays in the fire. Yep. And over to the bending jig. Just hook it around, and around we go. Use my scrolling tongs to work it. And I believe that's going to do just fine. Okay, so off camera I made another hook that exactly matches, and I've center punched the bar stock, one at 5.5 inches, one at 6.5 inches, so I know where to make my bend. And in the fire we go. Nice and warm. Go over to the anvil, to the vise. Find that center mark. Clamp it up. Make sure everything stays perpendicular. A little more. You got to be in a hurry real slow when you're doing this, because that thin stock loses heat fast. But if you're not in a hurry real slow, you'll end up moving too fast and making a big boo. Getting off your mark or something. But that's actually pretty good. So I'll just knock it around and even things up. And that's pretty much it. Just do the other one the same way. Drill a couple holes, brush them up, and they're ready to go for the client. Yep, that'll do just fine. And we're back. I hope that wasn't too painful to watch. I know my camera works miserable. Give me time, I'll get better. The only way I have time to practice with that camera is to actually go and make a video. Don't have time to just walk around and play with it. So it's going to be a work in progress for a while, but we'll get it. And I'll get my cameraman back out to the forge before long too, because she does a lot better at videoing me than I do at videoing myself. So we got our hooks done. Here's the set. They'll actually sit on the mantle like this, and I believe this side will hold the stock of the gun and this for the barrel, so the gun will set level. And they're plenty heavy enough to hold anything that the guy or lady wants to put on it. In the middle of that, I did manage to finish up a few things. A couple of little everyday carry style blades. And some nice rustic looking slicers. This one has curly maple handles, and this one is tiger wood. My take on the 17th century trade knife. And any of those three there would be great for this time of year for the folks that do that do reenacting, or the cowboy cooking, or just somebody that wants a nice looking blade in their kitchen. They'll work great. They're 1095 high carbon steel. That's a great blade steel. And then there's this one, which I finished up today too. Little brass bolster, brass finger guard, rough satin polish. So even when I don't have to work on knives, or even when I have a project to not work on knives, I still end up working on knives. But that's okay. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you a few tips that might help you out in the future. Modifying that bending jig, hey, sometimes if you've got a tool, maybe you got to make a little change to that tool to make it work. But that's okay. That's what blacksmithing is for. Hope you enjoyed. You have a great night, and God bless you. Thanks.